Hey guys, so welcome to the percentages problem solving chapter. The very first question says, Raimi saves 35% of his salary every single month. Now the question asks, what fraction of his salary does he save? Now guys, this simply means percentages or converting percentages into a fraction. Remember guys, when we did, if you would have seen my Learn Basic High School Maths lecture, on converting percentages to fractions, it was simply a process of dividing the percentage by 100 in order to convert it into a fraction. So we take 35% and we divide it by 100, which basically turns it into 35 over 100. Then, using our knowledge of highest common factors, we can simplify this. So the highest common factor between 35 and 100 is the number 5. Now again guys, please go back to my lecture on lowest common multiple and highest common factor in the Learn Basic High School Maths lecture series and find out exactly how to find the highest common factor between two numbers. So in this case, between 35 and 100, it's the number 5. So we can use this to simplify. So 5 goes into 35 7 times. 5 goes into 100 20 times. So the answer is 7 over 20. So what fraction of his salary does he save? Therefore, he saves 7 over 20 of his 7/20th of his salary. So once again, guys, please do make sure that you answer the final question with a statement just like this. Moving to the next question. So this question says, currently 8% of the staff is on holidays. Part A says, what fraction of the staff is not on holidays? B, if there are 200 staff, how many are on holidays? So let's write this out. Now it says 8% are on holidays. Now when it comes to percentages, 100% is the total amount. So 100% minus the 8% will tell us who's not on holidays. So 100 minus 8 we know is simply 92. So 92% are not on holidays. However, the question asks us to write this in fraction form. So once again, 92 divided by 100, which is simply 92 over 100. Now the highest common factor between 92 and 100 is the number 4. 4 goes into 92 23 times. 4 goes into 100 25 times. So 23 over 25 of the staff is not on holidays. And then part B says, if there are 200 staff, how many are on holidays? So if 8% of the staff is on holidays, which is simply 8 over 100 of the staff, which is 200, is on holidays, we can work this out. So 8 over 100, and we know off is simply a multiplication, 200 over 1. Now the zeros can get cancelled out here as we simplify. Then we're left with 8 times 2, which is 16. So if there are 200 staff, how many are on holidays? That would be the number 16. So 16 out of 200 are on holidays at the moment. Moving on to the next question. Now, this question says, in a recent survey, it was discovered that 70 out of the 200 children in 10 to 15 year range had seen the movie Up. Now, what percentage of the children had seen the movie Up? So 70 out of 200, if we were to write this out, so 70 out of 200 is simply 70 over 200. And now 70 over 200 is to be converted into percentage. Now when we go from percentage to fractions, we divide by 100. Then when we go fractions to percentage, we multiply by 100. So in the same process, let's simplify these. So the zeros get cancelled out here. So we're left with 70 over 2 multiplied by 1 over 1, which can simply get cancelled out. 70 over 2 is simply 70 divided by 2, which is simply 35%. So to answer this question, therefore, what percentage of the children had seen the movie? Therefore, 35% of the children had seen the movie Up. Alrighty, now moving on to the next question. This question says, 600 people are going to the new art exhibit this weekend. Now, if 5% are planning to make a purchase, the question says, what percentage are not planning to buy? B, how many are actually buying? Now, before we do anything, let's just underline the most important facts. So we have 600 people going, and 5% are planning to make a purchase. So, part A is what percentage are not planning to buy. Now, if 5% are purchasing, just like we did in the earlier question, 100% minus the 5% is not purchasing, which is simply 100 minus 5, which gives us 95%. So 95% are not planning to buy. Now part B says how many are buying, so how many people are buying. So if 5% of the 600 are planning to buy, this is the exact calculation that we need to do. Now 5%, as we know, is simply 5 over 100. Of, as we know, is simply multiplication, and that is 600 over 1. Now the zeros get cancelled out here, and we're left with 5 times 6, which is 30. Therefore, how many are buying? 30 are buying. Moving on to the next question. So, the next question says, Ash just recently got a pay rise. Now, if she earns $720 right now, how much will she be earning after her 5% pay rise? Now, guys, there are a couple of different ways to do this particular question. First of all, let's just write out the important information. So, she's getting paid $720 right now. And then she has a 5% pay rise coming her way. So, method 1 is to figure out exactly what the 5% pay rise would be. So 5% of $720 is 5 over 100 multiplied by 720 over 1. The zeros get cancelled out here. Then we have 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 10 twice, and then we have 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 72, 36 times. So 5% of 720 is $36. So basically, she's getting a pay rise of $36. So if she was earning $720, she's now earning 720 plus 36, which is simply $756. Then we have method 2, which is basically very similar to how we do this particular method, except we skip a couple of steps. So we are to look at the percentage that she gets paid right now is 100%. So that $720 represents 100%. Now, she's now going to be getting paid another 5% on top of that 100%. So think of it like a 5% bonus, which is on top of her base pay, which is $720. So that's 100%, which is the $720, plus the 5% that she's getting paid on top of that, of the $720. So 100% plus 5% gives us 105% times 720, because we know that off just means multiplication. Now 105% is simply 105 over 100 multiplied by 720. Now here the zeros get cancelled out, so we're left with 105 times 72 divided by 10. Now if I was to put this straight into the calculator, I would get an answer of $756. Now as we can see, guys, we get the exact same amount, except we have now skipped one particular step. So it depends on what you want to do. You can do method 1 or method 2. It's really the very same thing. Now, method 2 might sound a little bit more confusing. If that's the case, then please just go with method 1 if you find that easier. Now, let's have a look at the next question. So this question says, the local candy store just gave out 3,500 different candy bars. Now, if 30% of these were eaten, how many candy bars were not eaten? So, again, just like always, let's underline the most important parts. So we have 3,500 candy bars eaten, 3,500 different candy bars, 30% eaten, and we need to figure out that were not eaten. So let's just quickly rewrite this question. So we have 3,500 candy bars, 30% have been eaten, which tells me that 70%, which is basically just 100 minus the 30, is not eaten, and which is the part that we need to work with. So 70% of the 3,500 candy bars were not eaten. So 70% is simply 70 over 100. Of is multiplication, and then we have 3,500. Then we have the zeros cancelling off. So we're left with 70 times 35, which gives me 2,450 candy bars. So 2,450 candy bars were not eaten. So guys, the question can be a little bit confusing because they're talking about 30% being eaten, but the question's actually asking for how many candy bars are not eaten. Please do make sure that you pay attention to the actual question. Now, let's have a look at the final question. This question says, I want to buy the new Fallout 4 game for my new console. Now, the local game store is selling it at a 40% discount. Now, the original price was $100. What is the price after the discount? So, original price is equal to $100, and the discount is equal to 40%. So 40% of the $100 is how much you're getting off. So we have 40% of $100, which will tell me exactly what the discount amount was. So we have 40 over 100 multiplied by 100. Zeros get cancelled off, and we're left with $40. So $40 was the discount amount. Now the question is asking me, what is the price after the discount? So if the original price was $100 and the discount was $40, so we simply do a takeaway. So 100 minus the 40 will leave me with $60. So what is the price after the discount? Therefore, the price after discount is $60. So guys, that brings us to the end of the percentage-based problem-solving chapter. I hope this was helpful. There are some really practical questions here, and I've given you some more for you to practice with in the worksheets attached. So please do make sure that you have a go at them. I hope they were helpful, and I will see you in the next lecture. Thanks, guys.